Welcome to another riveting episode of VRF Tech Talk podcast.
Riveting. Wow.
It's been a while.
That's a big word to live up to. Riveting.
Riveting.
Everybody's on the edge of their seats. It's been like 3 months since we've done this.
Yeah.
We've been a little busy, right? Little busy here and there with all the chaos of summer.
Product rollouts and all that fun stuff.
R32 and R454B and new service tools, something like this, Do you want to talk about that?
Not really. I mean, yes, I guess.
Don't have to.
Everybody thought it was going to come with like graphics, right? And everybody's really excited about that. And I was like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
And as much as I want to say I despise, Mitsubishi's single phase unit that's an R454B, just because I really don't like R454B. I'm an R32 guy. Just having graphics alone, as simple as that is, and as maybe cavemanish as it is, it's still a nice little added feature. But it wasn't even that like. So when we did a Fujitsu VRF single phase installation retrofit, it was about an 8-year-old unit. The customer had 2 of them, and they had a bunch of board failures throughout the years, and they had such a nightmare getting parts and getting things replaced. Come to find out, the comm lines were just a giant mess, huge Star Communications. So I guess LawnWorks is a lot more forgiving than other people's communication circuits. Yeah, we converted it over to Mitsubishi's latest Smart Multi unit. And in doing so, just all the extra features, pulling service data with a USB flash drive off of the main board. Now, the manual is really vague about that. It says, I don't know if it's 24 hours or 48 hours, or it just says basically the memory fills up and then it overrides it as it goes. So something we were promised with Emirion, am I not mistaken? That we really haven't gotten.
VRVX.
VRVX. It was X, wasn't it? Yeah. So we were supposed to get the black box data, right, where it pulls 45 minutes. If you search online, there's still claims about Emirion having the 45 minutes of operational data built into the A1P board. I found it the other day, and it was just like, well, either it hasn't rolled out yet or it doesn't exist. So
doesn't exist.
And it may not exist, but we don't have it, right? But you got other manufacturers like Mitsubishi.
Even remember when we were at AHR and Ennis was showing us like their unit has that same feature, but Bluetooth, right? Like you grab it right off the machine.
Yeah. Or the NFC chips, right? Where you can take the phone and just stick it to the service panel and it pulls the manual, it pulls the commissioning guide or the commissioning profile that was done for the unit on site. So when the person started the equipment up, they whatever. They did the commissioning report of how many units and line set length and all that got saved to the unit itself. But that's just it. So like you see those things and you're like, man, this is really nice. I mean, even to the point where on the Mnet tool for Mitsubishi, I was able to manually override one of the indoor units and change valve pulses, change fan speeds. I mean, change literally everything about it. I mean, we're talking a square box on my screen that lets me override just about everything on that unit.
Right.
Even to offsetting sensors while I had the service tool hooked up to test the unit. It was like, they knew what I may need to do my job and they let me have it. It was just so refreshing to see. I just hate that they went R454B. So crack it open, man.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. It's been a day.
You're drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. You're drinking what? What are you? Oh, fancy.
Sparkly water.
I guess that's how you do in California. So, but service tools. So let's talk service tools. How about that? We've got Service Checker 5 now that's rolling out. We got Service Checker 4. We got Service Checker 3. I think what I would probably say Daikin has the most service tools at this point. The Bluetooth checker, the D checker, gets cabled, that's Bluetooth, all in one, which is also a version of Service Checker 3, but on the phone, or the computer cable if you have the laptop, program that's out there. What else am I missing?
All of them do something different or something slightly different than the next. Again, I just feel like we're kind of behind the ball with the service tools, like you mentioned, the Mitsubishi tool, and they're not the only one that can override specific parameters from their tools. But we're getting small bits and pieces of what we really needed. Like the field settings is pretty cool thing, and being able to address or name from the service checker, that's a good thing, but it doesn't really help the service guys.
Yeah. We're getting access to the information that we already had, right, before. It's
Right.
not it's not new.
We could
It's
we
just
could
a
change it.
sure, some and even on, like, what, Service Checker 3 and Service Checker 4, you could go in and actually name the indoor units and do all the labeling and stuff like that. It's just when you go back, if you had to readdress it or update the map, you lose all that
I think
information.
I think you can do that now with 5. But like that's pointless stuff, right? Like I don't care about that.
Sure, sure. What do you care about, Donald? What's the things that stick out to you when it comes to service tools?
It's functional. It needs to be functional. And then right now, unfortunately, I feel like Service Checker 5 is such a huge difference from what we are used to for the past, regardless of the generation. Service Checker 4, Service Checker 3, the
Yeah.
software has been the same layout. And we're talking, what, 10 plus years, 10, 12 plus years. And now we have this completely different thing. And I understand there's way more data in it, but like it's borderline unusable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and when it comes down to it too, we just wanna have access to the information in real time, where we don't lose it. We can scroll forwards and backwards and then be able to export it in a format that makes sense that we can either, analyze it or graph it and show it to a customer or a client or, just that's the biggest part for me. Um,
And
there's a
like
f
it
yeah.
does exist, right? We can still export to CSV, but when you're live looking at it, like you have to click on 7 different windows to see 4 different fan coils. Like that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little overkill, right? When we come back to the basics of it, we wanna be able to get in, see all the information that's relevant, and then navigate the screens. It's
Yeah.
almost, what I've come used to here with, like, Cool Automation, right?
Yeah.
You've got 2 spaces there. There's the diagnostic side where we can look at one specific unit, whether it's indoor, outdoor, if I'm looking for something to graph it on a chart, or if I can go to, the entire system overview where it shows me all the indoor units and all the outdoor unit points I want that I can scroll for 60-second timestamps. And so it's not a lot of places I have to go to. It's just 2 places, right? Why can't we mimic something like that, on a service tool? And unfortunately, some manufacturers are still living in the early '90s, late '80s on the layout. It doesn't need beautiful graphics. Like, I don't
I
need, like,
don't need it, right? Like
I'll
we
take Need
have
for Speed off of, like, PlayStation 1 or 2 graphics.
just give me scrolling data.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and ease of use too, right? It's the getting another device, getting another tool, getting more cables. What am I going to need now? And I get it. Like, we're in a weird spot where we transition refrigerants and we also transitioned, data protocols, to where, now we're D4 net. And so, you've got to have a special service tool just for that protocol. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a bumpy, rough next 2 years as we're like integrating D4 with D3 systems and, all this other stuff. Something I had a question about, which I can ask you live now that we're on this. What do we do for D3 to D4 translation when it comes to PPD? Um, you know, I've got sites right now that we're going to be retrofitting to,
You got to go with Hero. Like the iTouch isn't going to be able to do it, so you
yep.
got to go with Hero.
Gotcha. Okay, so it has to go does Hero have PPD right now?
I think so. I think it came out.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only thing that I was concerned about because they're using ITM right now with VRV3, and when we go to, Emirion R32 for retrofit the entire building throughout the next year and a half, they're gonna have to have a way to be able to build the tenants, and they haven't really accounted for that yet. Um,
Yeah. Like I don't see why you couldn't still use.
you see the complexities here?
Well, like you
And
could
then
still probably get away with using Cool Automation because we don't really care about the outdoor data other than the pulse input or the power input.
sure.
And like it's not like the coefficients for the fan coils has really changed anything. So like you could probably still get away with using Hero. I mean, here using Cool Master for it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go for that either way. But it just
I mean,
it's just one of those things where like there's these gaps now, right? You
yeah,
know?
and we're in the world of 21st century. Like a pulse meter input is such a hard thing to coordinate because it's always something that's done at the end of a project, and then there's 9 other things on that panel that aren't VRF. So then, how like now I need 12 pulse meters? What? Why?
Yeah, yeah. One for the toaster oven, one for the one for the microwave, one for the
And
kitchen lights.
it's not it's not very uh what's the word I'm looking for? It's not great because the pulse meter is not reading actual power. It's just saying when XKW happens, send me a pulse.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm reading like
Well, so the
Modbus power
calculation still
meter.
has to be right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
For
conversion.
right. So if the and it's always commissioned wrong, if you don't have the correct pulse input selected, then like your first bill is going to be $10 million. Like,
Yeah, due in 9 days,
I
we're
went
gonna cut your power
through
off.
like 6 months of going through that with Eaton on some of their revenue grade pulse meters. Is like I can't accept your pulse output of like 3.769 kW per pulse and a half. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
It's like six numbers after the decimal, right? And
Right.
you're like, well, what am I supposed to do here?
I need 10, 1, or 0.1.
Yeah. Yeah, not a random number. Oh, and I get it too. Maybe it's the software and the calculation on how they track all the things. And I mean, I feel like a lot of things get messed up in the translation of different units too, right? Celsius and Fahrenheit, and a lot of the deadband settings that we have in field settings, those are all in Celsius, and so we get these weird points and changeovers when we're looking at stuff because it's now in Fahrenheit.
Right.
So a lot of these things are engineered for specific things, and then we translate them into, not English, but American, I guess you could say. American. And it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well, especially when you're doing like kilowatt conversions and stuff like that. So it doesn't surprise me.
But I would rather read the raw KW value coming out of a meter, right? Like
Sure.
that's how much power it's using, not some arbitrary pulse value.
Yeah. Don't send me light pulses or, sound pulses. Just give me kill
KW.
give me a number. Yeah. Give me a number. All right. So with that being said, so service tools, we've changed over Service Checker 5, a lot of other manufacturers out there, Mnet tool was actually really easy to get through, like distributor like Johnstone and stuff like that.
Like
we talked to the
$100.
Yeah, and then Samsung was like, yeah, you can go on Amazon and get like a
$7
adapter cable for like $6.
Same thing with Fujitsu. It's just a LawnWorks key.
LawnWorks key. Yeah.
I mean, there are official ones that you can use, but like there's also cheap ones.
I was talking to someone the other day, controls manufacturer representative, and he was saying that he was talking because we were talking about controls protocols and how Daikin switched theirs, but then we were talking about how we switched over that Fujitsu unit over to Mitsubishi, and how Mitsubishi compared to Fujitsu, with Fujitsu being LawnWorks. He was like, yeah, I don't know how Fujitsu is going to continue to do VRF in LawnWorks because it's almost impossible to get the chipsets now to do LawnWorks. And so he was saying that I guess they're going to have to convert it either over to something else. And I was like, well, you know what? Daikin's not using D3 anymore. Maybe they'll sell it to them.
I think somebody actually bought the Echelon shit stuff. Sorry, excuse me.
Are they going to be like revamping it? And I just can't imagine that, a manufacturer of VRF equipment currently who's tied to a protocol that, seemed like it died 20 years ago.
I mean, inherently, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, sure. Maybe just the fact that nobody uses it.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty.
Is it dead?
Well, just for me, it's like, it's just... what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? How are they going to change it over? Is it going to be, a different protocol? I told them they always go to BACnet, right? Everybody's doing BACnet these days. The conversation was not only that, but also just the fact that like in UK, so BACnet's big here in the US. Over in the UK, he's saying that Modbus has made a huge showing, and that
Yeah.
everybody uses Modbus over in the UK.
I mean,
And they're like backnets of a peasant's controls protocol compared to Modbus over in the UK. So
but
just interesting to see the
KNX
yeah.
is the next big thing there too. They use it way more than anything else. And like, look at the new Daikin Rebel rooftop and their new zone controller. It's a KNX ish
Mhm,
thermostat.
mhm.
But back to LawnWorks,
Yeah, yeah.
Renesas bought the patent of
Whoa.
LawnWorks and then discontinued it in March. So yeah, I guess it's dead.
There you go. So he was right. So it is that. So you've got an entire brand of VRF that talks on a protocol that was officially purchased and killed. Um, so that's going to be interesting to see how that rolls out here in the next year or so.
Well,
Um,
let's see. When did Lawn
it's just going to
start? I
make
think
it.
it's back in the 80s.
I mean, so it's just one of those things though too. You're gonna maybe see someone, pop up as a black market dealer of, selling service devices and tools. And I just can't see how you can continue to manufacture equipment if the protocol that you're using for your communication, which again, it was robust enough to run those units. But when we found all the star communication and all the wire nuts and everything tied to
Right.
everything, um,
It ain't gonna
we
work.
had to run everything. Yeah. Mitsubishi was like, what the heck is this? I'm not doing this. Error codes. But it just shows you that, like, we're not just transitioning refrigerants, we're transitioning controls protocols. This isn't the only manufacturer. It's not just Daikin. There's other people, there's other things going on across the globe here, and how things are transitioning as a whole, that are going to affect people also out in the field. And so, what does that look like for Fujitsu later down the road? We don't know. What are they going to go to? We can only speculate, but it's just going to make it interesting, right? So if you're supporting Fujitsu equipment right now, buckle up. Buttercup is probably what I'm saying here. So
Yeah, buy
uh,
boards now.
buy boards now. Yeah, don't scrap the don't scrap the units. Don't scrap the control boards. You never know what you're going to need and when you're going to need it. And man, who knows? They maybe have like a phase down like everybody else, but it just goes to show you that just when you think you know something, you know, industries change,
Stuff
and
changes, yeah.
they kind of fall out a little bit there. But either way, my go-to is still going to be Cool Automation.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see something change in the next 10 years where maybe there is no proprietary comms and everybody has to play the same ball game. Because I know
Oh,
building manufacturers are really tired of having Daikin this, Fujitsu that, Mitsubishi this, and like, why does everything have to have its own central controller? And why do I have to
yeah,
pay a BMS vendor $10 million to bring it all into one platform? Why isn't there something that does that? Now, like, you're lucky for VRF because you have a Cool Automation brand that does that, or you have
sure, yeah,
Entesis that kind of does it as
yep,
well. But
yep. It's more than just one.
for your small commercial buildings, it may have like 2 or 3 Mitsubishi splits and then a Daikin VRF and maybe some rooftops that need integration too. Like
Or
there's
exhaust fans.
yeah, there's got to be something that does more than just VRF.
Well,
Um,
you've got what's the big home automation brand right now?
Control 4 or Crestron or
Crestron. Yes, it seems like
yeah, but like they're not. I'm not a
this
Crestron
or
guy.
Lutron is another one.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
You love Lutron. Don't lie. Don't lie.
No comment. But like home automation companies are home automation companies. They from my experience can't cut it in the commercial world.
It's tough. It is tough, especially when you've got all these different platforms trying to do everything here and there. I mean, and then when you toss in some really weird, wacky stuff like, like let's say Daikin's D kit, which is just Modbus,
Right.
and tossing that in the middle of a circuit on a building and trying to integrate everything else, it just makes it complicated. And there
Yeah.
isn't any like real plug and play solution because and I think the biggest difficulty here, and I don't know how we got down this controls rabbit hole, but it's like the difference between PLC controllers and just monitoring controls, right? So there's there's that overlay of just seeing what's going on the network and who's doing what, and then there's the other thing where it's like that PID loop that's built into the software and logic. And some
Yeah.
people just want to do the monitor only, and that's okay. But when you're talking about having to integrate all these things and tell things what to do, you have to have that PID loop logic built down somewhere, or be able to add it
Right.
somewhere.
No, I
And
think
that's the biggest thing. So
like some I think drives are underutilized in that, where if you need some kind of logic done for your fans, like there are
Yeah.
loops in that drive that can do that. But when you get into like a VRF manufacturer central controller, like it, there's no chance that it's going to be able to hang. So like I hate when people call it like the mini BMS. Like it's not. It's a central controller, right? It doesn't do anything but turn things on and off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Inputs, outputs,
right.
analog inputs, outputs, digital inputs, outputs. Yeah.
But
No, and then that,
it's not going to run a loop, right? It's not going to control
no,
a pump. It's not going to control the fan. Right? Like it could turn it
no.
on and then hope that somebody else gives it as a speed signal.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Microtech shines in a way on some levels, but there are still times where I've seen, Microtech put on the Maverick 2 and it just is you're like, What are you doing? I get you only have 4 standard compressors, but what are you doing with your logic here right now? Like
Yeah.
I need you to ramp up or ramp down and it's just like, yeah, I know what's going to happen maybe in the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to do this now and I'm going to do this for the next 24 hours. And you're like, okay, this makes no dang sense.
Well, like for a rooftop, like we were really excited when the iLink kind of, I mean, we've heard about it for 10 years and then it finally came out. And it does work, but that's all it does. And
Wait,
that's
so it's
fine.
yeah, it's got some functionalities,
But
right?
now
So
now it's dead, right? Because we're getting Nexio, which doesn't use the iLink anymore. Right? Like,
it's
okay, so it was short lived.
Oh wow!
Or at
And
least
how long
from
did
what
it
I
live?
understand, it is dead. But I don't.
A year and a half? Yeah, yeah. Well, and so let's talk about that. So the Daikin iLink controller is just basically a Corel PLC, right?
Right?
Or was it? I think it's the was it the
No, it's
Pico
Corel.
the PCO5
It's
or
Corel.
is it Corel? Yeah. So with that being said, that's all it is. It's just a rebranded Corel controller. Yeah, can the Corel controller do some really crazy, wild stuff? Oh yeah, it can. Are they using it for that? No, absolutely not. We got some basic graphics that we can pull in over the internet, and we can see some numbers.
Well, I mean that
Um,
it makes a solid point of like if a controller, if a package unit's controller can host its own graphics server or graphics, um, that is a great solution. A great solution, but what do we got next? We got inverter rooftop that doesn't do that.
so we get used to it, and then we get it taken away, right? Is that how that works?
Looks like
Here's some
it.
nice new shiny
Now I don't
toys.
know. I mean, maybe the inverter rooftop comes with it. Let's see if I can find it.
Maybe it'll come with a nice little. No, you know what it needs? This is what it really needs. It needs to take an example from is it Linux? Who has the 8-inch by 8-inch or the 6-inch by 6-inch LCD display screen that shows gauges on the side of the unit?
Oh, it's Carrier.
Is it no, I don't think it is Carrier. I think it
Is
is
it
Linux.
Linux? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't dabble in
I don't keep track of this stuff
rooftop.
either. But that's what it needs. It needs a nice little 8 by 8 LCD display screen on the outside of the unit. You flip up the hatch and then you take a look at all the things that are doing the, fans spinning and the coils blue and
And why can't you? Like, it's not
it's not
in
difficult.
this day and age. Like, you can make a Raspberry Pi do all of that.
No, you can. Yeah, and AI helps a lot with that too as well when it comes to coding and integrating and stuff like that. It just I mean, the things that you and I have built just out of curiosity and fun, um, which does some pretty wild and amazing stuff. It's like, man, maybe the manufacturers don't need or know how to use, AI to build those things. Like it's not
I just don't think that their imagination
interested.
is allowed to run wild with like what's out there and what can we do with it. Now they're beholden to making sales and they got to make a quota and it costs money to develop things that may or may not work. But I mean
But you see
that's
like
how we
how
find out.
innovation progresses throughout time. Like you look at like Apple and the products that they started with that revolutionized like, the iPhone and stuff like that. You kind of have to think out of the box and color outside the lines to find what the next thing is. And if you know
Yeah,
enough about what you need to do your job and to do it well,
yeah. You
what do you
gotta
got to lose? I
you gotta
mean,
take a risk to see if there's a reward, right?
$20 Claude subscription, I could probably reinvent the wheel. I'll write the next service checker protocol. You know, it's one of those things where given enough time and an imagination, I mean, why can't we? I mean, who's to say that we can't?
Right.
And I think if we start thinking from that angle, and regardless of what brand it is, I've seen people now. We've got apps now that have what's the one that we've been talking about here for a little bit off and on.
Field
Field
nav.
View,
Field
Field
nav.
Nav, yes, Field Nav, yes.
Yeah, it
Um,
was a guy that had a vision to make a technician's life easier, and I mean, you build
Mitsubishi
it, right? Like,
information, Lennox, yeah, all the brands, Daikin, LG, it's all on there.
yeah,
Field settings, service manuals. Now, I get like a lot of these manufacturers have their own apps, but I don't know when the last time you went to Daikin City to search something, but it
right.
hasn't it
And
hasn't gotten any
the
better.
guy in the field may or may not have an account with them, right? So, like, why?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not have one central like? eh, we always equate back to, and like it's unfortunate it's changed, the MyLink Drive, right? It was like the epitome of finding information because it didn't require a password to log in.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah, yeah.
require anything, right? Now
It's
it's changed
Mitsubishi
a bit.
Pro. Yeah, Mitsubishi Pro
Yeah,
now. But it's still great because like you search a model number and you find it instantly like that. Like it knows exactly what you're typing as you type it.
yep,
And then you click it and then you go down and scroll down and it's submittals, application notes,
yep,
installation guide, operation manual, service manual, applicable indoor units, applicable accessories. That's like 7 different screens on Daikin City. And that's even if you can find the right, application notes or guides associated with that
right,
unit because of the way that they categorize and name it. And I've talked to the products, whatever the product marketing team over there, we could go on and on about that, but it's just one of those things where the simplicity side of things just make it easy to find, and have it all in one place and have it all linked together. It's not difficult to do those things. It just requires some
right.
some forethought as to why we need to do it. Um, you know, if you guys are categorizing information for your own internal search teams and they have to know exactly what it looks like and the catalog that you're using to search, it just doesn't make any sense, right? We need easy to search terms and words. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, for
Filing
sure.
systems have been around for a long time. So,
I mean, like my folder for Daikin equipment is like it lays out very simple.
yeah,
Um, but that takes me going on the websites and downloading the files and then moving them to
sure.
the right place and then
So
naming them correctly and
I would say the same thing, right? So I experienced the pain one time of trying to find something I can't find, and then I swear I'm going to find it, and I eventually do find it either that day or I ask the right people and they give it to me or they show it to me or wherever it's at,
right,
and then I immediately download it and I put it on my own Google Drive, and I organize it the way I think it should be organized and searchable, and then from there. My team has it. The people who have access to my service drive also have it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm never going to have to go searching for it again because now I have it and
right,
it's filed away where I can keep it. And I won't go looking for it again because I know where it's at. And so it's that accumulation of knowledge that eventually lives somewhere. And I think that's where the FieldNav app shines because it's exactly that, but it's accessible from your phone. It's accessible for anybody to have,
right,
to search and go through. And so,
right. And like I, I've debated this for a while. Is like publishing my library of documents, and
same
like
here.
it's nothing that's not obtainable from somewhere else, from online, from Daikin City or wherever. But I think I'm just gonna end up doing it just so
We
people
should
have it.
we should just combine our drives together and create a super drive and then, you know, put it out there for the world to have. I'll have to
Super
delete a few
Drive.
I have to delete some super secret stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I think there needs to be a library somewhere where people can just access. I'd love people to add their own stuff to it, and we actually have. So I will say there's some great guys in the industry that work for some of these manufacturers that have reached out over the past year who have given us all the information they have on everything they have.
Yeah,
And so
especially since you lit a fire under their butts.
yeah. Well, and so it's just one of those things where wait, what'd you say?
Said especially since you lit a fire under their butts.
All I'm saying is what everybody should be saying in the first place out there in the industry. And it's not going to go away, and I'm not going to stop talking about it
Right.
because I think it's what we need. And so, and then the crazy thing is like I'll go out and I'll say stuff like that, and I'm not trying to point any fingers, but eventually I do point fingers because it's true, right? I'm not saying anything that isn't true, and you'll get all these people who work for those companies or those manufacturers, and they reach out directly, and they're like, "Hey, I saw that. I agree with you. We shouldn't be safeguarding information. And then they give me all the information they have. No trade secrets, no like proprietary stuff that's more confidential, just stuff that we should already have that isn't public facing, that has to go through the rep or the dealer, whatever. And
Right.
we file and categorize it away and store it because the next time someone asks me for something, either through my website or through the Facebook group, it's like, yeah, I got that from so and so, 2 months ago. Here you go, have it. Service manual, here you go, latest software. Um, yeah, I can't tell you how many people come to me and email me because they can't get the latest version of Service Checker or the latest version of like the ITM or something like that. And it's
Right.
like,
That brings up a topic. Service Checker 5 has a software like check to say if it's out of date. Last time I checked, like when you click on update, it doesn't allow you to update and tells you to get it from your local vendor.
Mm.
So like,
So
great, you can't update it.
yeah. Yep. Do I have the latest software? I don't know. Oh no, it says I need to go call somebody.
Well,
or
who has the
email
latest
somebody.
software?
Who's
Right. Well, I have
well,
I
that's
have
it.
a
It's like
feature built in that doesn't work.
yeah. No, and so and we know why, right? So everybody, just so you know, when you get a Service Checker 5, right? You not only get the Service Checker 5, congratulations, by the way. If anybody hasn't told you yet, but in the manual, you now realize that you can't just plug it in and run off to the races. You have to reach out to the manufacturer or your approved Daikin distributor, as it says, and you have to get the software to turn it on, right? To hook it up to the program for the computer. But then you also have to register your Service Checker 5 with Japan, right? That's the case there. It's you have to have your ID number, you have to have your password, and then you have to put in the serial number to register your unit through Service Checker 5. You've already done this process, right?
Yeah, but
I
it's
haven't
the
done it yet,
same.
so
It's the same. Every single one is the same. So like, I don't.
your service
What does
number
it
is the same
do?
as mine?
Yeah, every single um
The
service
ID
checker comes with the same password in it.
does it. So then why does the serial number matter?
Who
It
fucking
says
knows?
to use the app, register user information, enter the ID, the password, and the serial number. Keep this manual safe, as these might be needed when the user validity expires. And it basically says, so the same thing for the software update, that apparently this
Here, I got one right.
information.
I got one right here. Do you have the manual in your hand?
I do.
All right. Well, I have one in my hand too.
Okay. Well, I'm
This
sure
is
your
a
serial
brand
number is
new.
different though.
This is brand new, right?
Okay. Well, so I've got the ID number, I've got the password, and then it says obviously serial number says written on unit label. So
Right. So the device has a serial number, but the passwords are all the same.
okay. Well, so then what's the serial number matter? Like it does. I don't have to go to
It
a website
doesn't.
to register this.
There's just maybe it just wants to know where it's being used. I don't know what market it's in. Who knows?
Okay.
But like, what does it do if you don't have internet connection? Does it not work?
We read somewhere in the guidelines and the installation instructions that once you register your Service Checker, it's supposed to be registered to that computer. No,
No, because you
Is
can
that-
register a Service Checker to multiple computers.
well then the manual's lied again. Why are they lying to us like this, Donald?
I don't know. The one that's here in the lab here is the one that I registered a month ago, and it's working on 2 different computers for sure. The one,
Well, and it
somebody in
has
our
the
team-
Service
yeah,
Checker. So and the Service Checker 5 also has, it's got D3 and D4 here at the bottom, and so there's the, you can use it for VRV4X and Mirion, all that good stuff like that for D3, but also, and that would be the Service Checker 4 program. On
what's your
laptop.
password?
My password is a
DA241018.
Oh my gosh, you have my password.
You have my password, right? So like, that doesn't matter.
So if you're reading this and you're listening, we've just given away the password for Service Checker 5, which is in the manual.
But you'll need a serial number off the device. What's your serial number?
You want to know my serial number? I'll tell you my serial number. It is TV101267.
I'm not gonna tell you this one. This one's not mine.
Okay. Is it different?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So anybody who wants to go out there and register My Service Checker to your name all over the country or the globe, go ahead and do that. I'd love
This
to
service
make the
checker goes
people
everywhere.
I'd love to make the people in Japan scratch their heads. Like, how is he in Malaysia right now? How is he in Australia? This guy. My service checker is probably gonna be brick now that everybody's watching this. So please be nice to me, guys. Okay. I don't want to have to get in trouble by Japan, or maybe I do. I don't really care. Go ahead, use it. But either way, new service tools, confusion, software, new programs. If you need the latest Service Checker 5 software, feel free to reach out.
Not the latest, because we don't have that.
the second greatest and latest, the one that will work. And that's the other thing too, is like, I remember when Amirion came out and I started the first one in Houston. We went through 7 revisions of Service Checker before we could even pull in the outdoor unit data. And then after that, it was like 3 other revisions on Service Checker before we could look at both the sub and master module at the same time. And then other, caveats and changes throughout. So with a new protocol like this, I'm sure we're going to go through the same mess where it's like, hey, I can't see this, or it's not doing that, or the data's not refreshing, or whatever have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Which is where that whole new, the whole new versions come in. It's like, well, what version are you running? I don't know. What version am I supposed to have? Well, the latest. Where do I get the latest from? What is the latest? And the funny thing is that like they give you the website, right? On the manual for the website, right? It's the global Daikin business portal and your login. Well, guess what? That website is for Daikin employees only. Yeah. The global website, you have to be an employee of Daikin to have access to. I used to have access to it. That's why I know. So it doesn't really help you to go and get the software, because this manual basically means that, it's saying the only way you're going to get the software is if you actually work for Daikin. So the service tool's not for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't even see any more on the software where I can see what version this is.
You have yes version of Service Checker 5.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah. But also, the crazy thing, too, that I found out is that D4 is only in North America. So, yay us for having it first.
Hey, I found that if you click license information and then close it 5 times, it asks for a password.
Ooh. Try my password.
It's not Daikin.
Maybe it's the DA241018. Now you're getting a live look at us cracking the Service Checker 5.
It's definitely not it either.
It's okay. I know some people I can probably get the password from.
I don't think anybody knows it yet, because it's the same thing with the SD card. It is there, right? Did you peel your sticker off yet?
SD card? What are you talking about? There's no SD card here. There's only
peel it off,
USB-C and micro USB. You're telling me that if I violate my Service Checker live on the podcast, that
okay, give me
crashing through my window.
Explain to me why we're still using micro USB in 2026. Right? It's got a USB-C port on it for power only. What the heck, guys? This is 2026.
Service Checker 5. Secrets revealed.
There's no reason why we couldn't use a USB-C cable at this point.
Oh my gosh, what's under that label?
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
Oh my gosh, there's an SD card slot.
What's the password?
Do you have the password?
No. As soon as I peeled that sticker off, I asked, and it doesn't exist yet.
Oh, I'll get it. Don't worry. Oh, I'll get it. I know some people in some other markets on the down low. Send out some smoke signals. I toss a few pigeons out the window. It'll come back. So there you go. So like, what do we gain here? Like the last service tool had an SD card and it was super secret for like 3 years that nobody was allowed to know about.
Yeah,
it.
And then it became the
Service Checker 5,
most handy thing ever.
It was. And now Service Checker 5, you're trying to hide this crap from me again? Come on. You're not going to fool me twice here. Come on, guys. Like, I'm not going to, I haven't already taken all the screws out of this device and looked at everything on this board, front ways, sideways, back ways, to see what the heck you're doing here. Get out of here with this sticker trash. Now we just need the password. So,
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, but I am upset that we couldn't, in this day and age, figure out how to make it USB-C compatible.
Yeah, completely. Well, so hold on. There is a spot under the board on a Service Checker 5 that allows you to switch it to 16-volt power internal, so you could use the communication power to power your service checker. So you don't really need the well, I guess you do need the micro B because that's the communication. I don't even
Right.
think I have any
Why?
micro B
Why?
anymore.
Micro B. It's
All I have is USB-C. So
it's a 30-year-old connector, a 20-year-old connector. It doesn't make sense why we're still using that.
yeah, I don't know. What are we gonna do, man? What can you do? I guess just buy Service Checker 6 when it comes out next year. Is that no, it's not a good joke. Like, please make it stop. We had Service Checker 3 for like 20 years, okay? And now we went to 4, and now I'm at 5. And it's like, okay, let's slow this train down here, guys. I wish all I needed was like a little tiny like conversion adapter, you know? So like it's Service Checker 3. Okay, I take my F1, F2 wires and I just add a little dongle at the bottom of my Service Checker 4 and ta-da, D4. That's what I was looking for. Or like a little cartridge that slides on the side of my Service Checker 4, like I plug it in like an adapter. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like what is it? Game Boy Color with all the attachments and accessories, right? Just you pop it on top and now it's, even better.
There was like, I don't remember if you remember, there was a attachment for Game Boy Pocket that gave you color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember that. Now you got the knockoff Game Boys.
Yeah.
So, hi. What are we gonna do, man? So, one of those things that we're all gonna be learning as we go. It's gonna be one of those difficult frustrations where you're gonna get a new piece of equipment that isn't usable in the software currently. We've been rocking the Bluetooth checker on our 32 units for a while. Now we've got our Service Checker 5s.
Yeah,
we're gonna go back and start using all that. So
I've never been a proponent of the D checker because I think it was cumbersome, but honestly, it gives you a better experience at this point.
yeah, well, at this point, and that's also the frustrating thing. How long have we had our R32, Dom?
Unit started shipping in November of 25, so 8 months now.
Yeah, and we're just now getting Checker 5, and we don't know what the software is. So, good. It's all good. Everything's good. What's the worst that could happen? We could have problems with units in the field that we can't diagnose or look at, but
Me and my coworkers say we're blessed.
we're
Just lie to ourselves and say we're blessed.
hashtag blessed.
Blessed, yeah.
It does, I will tell you the one thing that I've experienced here recently is that I want to work on some more Mitsubishi units.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where when you see simplicity used in the most raw format for service, you're like, man, I this unit may be more expensive, it may be less efficient, it may be require more certifications or maybe some hoops to jump through, but at the end of the day, the serviceability, it's nice. Now,
Yeah.
I won't. There's other things that they don't do well that I think you could see on the field with slamming some of those service components under condensing coils, right? Heat exchangers and getting to them, but as far as
That's
information
like
and
any
service
suitcase
tools,
style
so
unit, like that's how all of them are going to be.
yeah.
I want to take
Well,
a step back and say we're not here to bash on Daikin for shortcomings because I think all of us have felt pains in this
sure.
this transition. It's been nothing but trouble for the service teams out there with the R32 and 454B transitions. So,
Yep.
like we're not here to just bash on one brand, but
No, but we're just here to share what the field sees, what we're going through,
right.
what we're all trying to navigate. And so, no politics or bureaucracy here to hide behind. We're just here to talk about where we're kind of at right now. And if there is something that maybe we missed or that we misstated or there's information that we haven't talked about, we would love to talk about it. We'd love to just share it if you have
Yeah.
some. So
We'd
this
love to
isn't about
talk
hiding
to
things or
the
yeah,
manufacturer too, right? Like talk to me,
yes.
like tell us some issues on what we're saying and prove to us where we went wrong with what we said.
Yeah, and we've talked to salespeople, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think they also have a great take on this. But I mean, we want to talk service technical. We want to talk about the things and what we're doing and what that looks like in the
Right.
field, how to help solve the problems maybe a little bit faster, and where the resources actually are. It's usually someone asking for help on something. Yeah, someone ran into this the other day. Corey with the DXS, right? He ran into a Linux unit that was made by Medea. Nothing on the unit said Medea at all. But Linux is now partnered with Samsung, and so it was like, and the system's only a year old, and so it actually was just now getting started because the construction process was delayed, and they had a communication error code. They couldn't get it resolved, and so he called me asking me if I knew anything about it, and I asked all my contacts overseas, both in China and Japan, and they just came back to me and said, "No, that's a Medea unit for sure." And he had to go back to the basics of just going through and navigating the communication wires and just checking to make sure everything was wired correctly. Because that was my advice to him, was just go through and do a power cycle and try to do a recount and make sure everything's got power, and check the basics. And he did exactly that. And so when he didn't have anything or the right service manual, because again, he was getting stonewalled from Medea, and Linux was no help. And so he went through and he found that the communication wires were all flip-flopped in a bunch of different units. And so he corrected all the comm wires on the right, terminals, and then power cycled it, and then found out through some obscure manual, I think he found in another country in another language translated, on how to do a recount. And he did, fired right up, no problems now. And so it's just one of those things where we're going to be getting into these weird spots where manufacturers are changing, like the whole Samsung and Train and Mitsubishi, alliance thing there, where we're not going to know what unit you have in front of you or who makes it at that time. And so, good luck on finding support for it. And so building those experiences out and sharing them here is the big goal here, is the big thing. So
I'd like to also preface that I've been frustrated with this whole caboodle for a while, and it's just tired of not having answers for things that didn't need to be broken.
Sure. Yeah. Or that you're being told is normal. We know what normal looks like. We've been working on normal for a long time. It's literally our jobs to make it normal. Don't tell me that's normal. It's not normal. It's not supposed to do that. Don't lie to me. Don't look me in my eyes and say that this is normal. This is not normal. Or the one that I wrote about recently, which is the first time we've ever heard of it, right? It's the first time we've seen this. We just don't lie to us, right? We're figuring it out together. We're figuring it out together. Let's take this in stride and try to figure it out as a whole. But
or maybe provide the training before the product comes out.
That's blasphemy, Donald. Come on. We don't need to know how to work on these units until 2 years down the road, right? If we follow the install manual, which clearly has everything in it that we should know about the unit, and if we follow those steps complicitly, you'll never have a problem ever, at least until 2 years when they have the class that's only offered in one state.
And the installation manual doesn't allude to the problems that you run into.
There's no such thing as problems.
That's
what's
right.
the problem? You need a new unit. That's what you need.
This is my soapbox.
That's fine. We haven't talked in this format in a long time, and so now you gotta just get it all out, right? Just work it all out.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. So, all right. So, words you want to leave them with?
Just hang in there, everybody. If you're going through some similar issues that we've talked about, just hang in there. Once people like Roman and myself and other people on the Facebook groups have the information, we're gonna share it as best we can.
Yeah, and just from my perspective, be vocal about your problems.
Yeah.
You're not protecting any brand or relationship. I'm not saying go out of your way to say the good equipment is junk, but document what's going on, what model number you have, the serial numbers associated. What is the exact issue? What have you done? What have you been told to do? Like just document that stuff for yourself.
Right.
So that when the solution does come out, you're the person who now has the answer to the solution. And you can share that. Hey, we found that these units from this model to this model in this range had this problem, and this is what we did to solve it.
Right.
Because again, let's be honest, manufacturers aren't going to be forthcoming with that information.
No, nobody's jumping at the bit.
No, and so if you're living this problem, then you probably will hold the solution to anybody else's problem. And so I'm not saying go out there and blast it on social media, but that's what the group's for. It's a private group that everybody gets vetted to come into. A lot of people have been kicked out of. That's what this is for. It's community. We're going to solve the problem by exposure and sheer numbers.
Right.
Someone's going to have experienced this.
I think the one thing that we could say to the people on those groups is like, don't be afraid to ask, right? Don't say I need to talk to somebody privately. Like, just put it out there. If you need help, nobody's going to blast you for not knowing something or asking a dumb question. Just put the information out there so that somebody can read it and say, "Hey, I dealt with that too. Let me see if I can help
Well,
you."
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, don't someone asked the other day, like, any Hitachi guys in here? Can you call me? And it's like, and the same person messaged me, and it was just like, I get you want to handle this privately, maybe, or maybe someone is in that group or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're having an issue, even if it is just mundane and routine and simple for simple sake, if you don't know it, you don't know it. And the whole point of it is being honest and saying, hey, this is the problem I'm having. Am I overlooking something? And someone will jump in immediately and give you those answers, right? And then it's searchable in the group to where anytime someone comes in there and searches that exact issue, they're going to see the post that you made explaining exactly what was wrong and the answers that came along with it. So
Right.
even if it doesn't solve your problem, somewhere in the comments, there's going to be a solution to the same similar problem, but in a different way. And so it's that gathering of information and sharing information freely. This isn't something that's supposed to live in a select chat group or a phone conversation. This is supposed to be information put out there for everybody to see in that way, because it will help somebody eventually.
Right.
And you'll find people who know nothing about the problem who are just really good at troubleshooting that are also going to jump in there to help. And most of the times they get pretty close to getting it right. So
Well,
what do you
how about
what do you got to what do you got to lose? Like, it's not going to be any more broken than it already is.
track record? Keep it up.
That's a perfect place to end it. Okay. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Later.
See ya.